Hi there everybody, out in Marnold's class world, specifically my history students today. We are going to be working on your human rights essay planner. So, an extension to yesterday's lesson that was cut slightly short for us. I'm going to go through some steps that you need to do to be successful in your essay planner. So, first things first, make sure you have your presentation open. I will have posted at this time all the presentations from the other groups as well. But for now, I opened the presentation from Emmett, Drew, Jody, and Emily and found a very high quality set of facts here about women's rights. So what I want to do is take this here and change this into a paragraph that I can then use for an essay. So I've quite simply highlighted it, Control and the letter C to copy. I've created another document here that just is called Human Rights Paragraphs. Control and V, and there it is. I'll change the font to one I can see. There we go, black, and good to go. Now, if this is a good enough paragraph for an essay already, you can leave it. If it's not, you can of course change it around, because a lot of people did do point form, and you can change that. You can add your transition words and so on. So what I'm going to do next is find a spot for this fact somewhere on my human rights essay planner. Now, on the human rights essay planner, it's determined by how particularly strong your different topics are. So I've given you some examples here. Or sorry, how strong your facts are. I've given you some examples here. We have the second strongest paragraph first, the leftovers, which is the one that's not as strong. We have your weakest topic here, which goes third, and then you finish off very strong with your strongest argument being your fourth subtopic body paragraph. So personally, I think the women's right paragraph is very strong. So I'm going to quite simply control the letter C, and then I'm going to place this back on the essay planner here. Control V. Let's make that a little smaller so it fits in and doesn't take up the entire essay planner. There we go. And remember, this is just a planner for now, so we're determining which are our strongest facts first of all, and then we are adding them in. There we go. Okay, so now we know that point number 4, or a fourth subtopic, is women's rights. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the very top of the document to your introductory paragraph here, and we know that our fourth topic is women's rights. So what we have to say and how we preview this is to say something along these lines here. So I would start with the example of women's rights in Canada, and then this is where we can loop in parts about these certain subtopics evoking shame or pride in us when we describe it to others. So the example of women's rights in Canada shows that we, as Canadians, should be proud. Or you could say the example of women's rights in Canada shows that it takes a while to change things, but people do. Anything along those lines. So far, we've taken our paragraph from this presentation. I put it over here so I can work on it. And this is just a document that I created called Human Rights Paragraphs. This is the women's rights one. And I've determined that this is my absolute #1 best fact. Therefore, because it's my best fact, I put it at the very bottom under strongest argument here. So After that, I've crafted a thesis for you, and this is the same thesis that you used for your presentation. So that thesis is fine. At the bottom, you would restate the thesis here. So as demonstrated by the evidence, Canada's human rights record is one that we should be ashamed of or proud of or whatever. Down here, one example of its human rights record is Canada's treatment of Jewish refugees at the beginning of World War II. Subtopic 4 would quite simply be Canada's treatment of women, or women's rights in Canada. And then finally, your concluding sentence, Canada's human rights record is one that evokes whichever. And that's about it for now. You'll probably get done most of the paragraphs today, but I guess the last thing that you'll do is quite simply you can take your subtopic sentences here. So for this is my fourth subtopic. I can copy this and I can quite simply put it down here, and we can reword this later. So this topic sentence is the same as my preview that's in my introductory paragraph at the top. If you have any questions at all, you can send me some emails after the fact. That's fine. I won't be able to see them all day, but like I said, determine what are your top 4 facts. They're based on the criteria from yesterday, the checklist. Clean up those paragraphs so they fit well into an essay, and plug in as much as you can in the planner. And I will be back on Wednesday to chat some more. Have an excellent rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.